Hello out there, good morning, and today, the Thursday, the 21st of December 2023 marks another beautiful day in our lives, in our family, in our homes, irrespective wherever you're watching us from. We believe all is well with you. My name is Olori Alajoke Adejoke Anubi David, to be precise, and I hope you had a wonderful night rest yesterday. I'm not here alone like you know. Joy girl.
Good morning, good to see you.
Yeah,
I love
good
your
to see you
vibes this
too.
morning.
Thank you. The Amatan, I don't want to get cold like you. Catch cold. I catch cold.
Good morning, welcome to Healthy Thursday on Family and Values. Of course, you know, our Thursdays is where we discuss everything about health. Let's teach you how to maintain your health. And you know we are streaming across all our social media platforms. Please download the Galaxy mobile app so that you can always watch us on the go. Today's topic is very, very educative, and
yes,
it's something you don't want to miss. You know, our guest is always pretty seated, ready to deliver.
Yes. Our topic today is mental health in marriages. And we have our guest seated. She's looking so pretty, cool, calm, and collected. She is a beautiful woman as I see her. And I'm sure you're going to agree with me. Her name is none other than Dr. Bashir Khadija. She's a public health physician with LASUT. And we're so happy and delighted to have you. Good morning.
Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Compliment of the season to you.
Same to you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Doc.
I'm sure I really disturbed you, right?
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank God we have you here today, finally.
Thank you.
Aha. So we're looking at, we're looking at mental health in marriages.
Okay.
Let's talk about your experience first with your kind of work, what you do as a medical personnel. What can you really walk into when you talk about mental health in marriages, especially to people who are married, I mean?
Okay. So when you talk about mental health in marriages, we see them. They come to the hospital with a lot of complaints. Basically, the main problem we see is lack of communication. That is very, very important. It's a key issue. Couples don't really communicate well enough to understand themselves and to even understand there's a problem lurking somewhere. Then another important thing is usually a family history of mental illness or a history of mental illness in a particular person or a particular partner that the other partner is not aware. And this also communication comes in, because you're not communicating enough, your other partner is not aware you have such history. And also there's the issue of stigma. People are afraid to say out, oh, I have a family history of mental illness, or I had a history of mental illness, for the fear of being stigmatized. So they don't talk about it, and it begins to manifest. Another issue is we tend to see is usually when someone is coming from a background of abuse. Person has suffered abuse in the family or in the relationship, and such issues come up, or lack of support in the family, in the marriage. Partners are not supporting each other, so these issues also come up. Usually maybe the wife is stressed with household chores, maybe she's a working woman too, she's stressed at work, she comes back home, she's stressed, maybe the husband or the partner is not helping out. Yes, so issues now start coming up. And usually when they come to the hospital, for most of them, it's once you get to understand, for those that have not really deteriorated, once you talk to them, counseling, you're able to at least get to the root of the problem. And then for those that need referral to the specialist, we refer them to seek expert advice and care too from this session.
Okay, doctor, when you were saying and you were talking about domestic violence and all of that, something just came down to my mind, which happens to be depression.
Yes.
It's very common for people to say, "Oh, I'm depressed." Oh, and in marriages, it's really eating, like you said, lack of communication. Now, do you think, because we all know that depression is a form of mental illness that we've not really come to accept societally, we just say it.
Yes.
Do you think that the lack of love in marriage has led to so many people towing that line of depression in mental health?
I might not say love directly, because you can love someone but you might not be there for them. So I would rather say lack of communication and understanding between each other, because really love doesn't sustain marriage alone. Friendship, when you get to understand who you are with, you become friends, you understand each other, you respect and you value each other. Even without love, that relationship can still survive. But with love, yes, it can be an added spice to the relationship. So yes, love might be part of it, but then when two people are in love or you want to come into a relationship, the important thing is, and that's why for marriages the advice, go for marriage counseling, or even understand, you people are counseled on, okay, this is what marriage is, this is what you're going in for, this is what is expected of you. Even before then, you are supposed to sit down and understand each other before going into a relationship, because nowadays people just rush into marriage. 1 month, 2 months into marriage, issues start coming up because you rushed into it, you didn't understand, oh, I didn't know he's this, I didn't know he's that, things start coming up. So it's very, very important to understand each other even before going into marriage.
Okay, now when we look at it, how can partners, help one another in a state of mental health issues, to avoid stigmatization from, the society or people around them?
Okay, I think for that, one important thing is to try and always be supportive, be there for your partner, always be there, and then have a listening ear for them, listen to them, sit down, talk with them. How do they feel? What do they feel? How do they think things? Because some is anxiety, some is stress, so many things. So sit down, talk it out with your partner. What is the problem? In a nice manner, without being judgmental, because there are so many issues. So you talk with that person and try to be understanding to that person. Give the person some space. If he's not willing to talk at that point in time, give space. And then always try to make sure there's that communication. Leave no gap. If there's any stress, maybe at work or in the family, be supportive, help out. For example, at home, help out with the house chores. There might be a help in the house, there might not be a help. Whatever it is, the responsibility that is in the house, help out. You never know. Like there's, I think there was a patient we saw one time, and really she was rushed to the emergency. And I was there at the emergency, but there was a doctor there in emergency, but I was also there. She was rushed, she has a chest pain. The doctor kept asking and asking and asking for everything. It wasn't adding up. Yes. So we were wondering, so what's the problem? Her husband was standing, and we were like, okay, he should please excuse us. And really, by the time we finished talking with her, the problem was her husband.
Wow.
She was stressed out in the house. She doesn't have a help. She has 3 children. She felt she's been neglected and abandoned by the husband. He's not helping out. She feels, I need to get back to work. I'm not working. She feels when he comes back, he doesn't help with anything. He just eats his food, gets into his room and starts pressing his phone.
Neglect.
Yes, so that was her problem. Eventually, we called in back the husband. We spoke with him. The two left smiling. Without paracetamol, not even paracetamol.
Anything.
Nothing.
So sometimes that can be accumulated issues put together, and it can lead to mental health.
Exactly. So issues, when you have issues between you, have time. It might not be immediately you have issues. Have time, maybe after some time when everybody has cooled off, and discuss those problems. Don't allow problems to pile up. And then when you come discussing, don't be bringing past issues. Things that have passed, just
let it go.
let it go. Forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Also very, very important.
You have left the stigmatization angle
Yes.
out of my question.
Yeah. So about the stigmatization, that is being supportive. When you are being supportive of your partner, that will also remove the stigmatization aspect from people outside. When they see that you as the partner are not neglecting that your same partner, you are being supportive. And then immediately you begin to see things are getting out of hand. Help that your partner, seek help in the hospital.
Okay.
Yes. So don't just abandon and say, oh, let's just leave the person.
like that.
No, help that person, seek help. And then you yourself, you can also go for counseling in a way that you can support your partner when he's receiving care, because it's really not easy having a partner with mental illness. It's not everybody that is going to be easy handling that. Yes, so you also as a partner, once you realize, okay, my partner has mental illness or is being treated for mental illness, you need to go for your own counseling to see how you can support. You need to go together.
Doctor, I would like us to talk about and dwell on women that suffer this during pregnancy and after pregnancy. Because it's of recent we realized that it was a form of mental illness that happens to do with depression. Because sometimes, like in the past, we just felt it was the woman being irritated with everything around. We never knew that it was a process. She needed this whole therapy thing. She needed to see a doctor, not until awareness like this. And so for women who are in that process right now, who really don't understand what is happening, like the partner is wondering. And sometimes we tell me to, oh, it's pregnancy syndrome. Oh, once she's out of pregnancy, she's going to get out of it. And then it accumulates from pregnancy into after childbirth to that point of suicidal thoughts. How do you address such a situation, and how do the partner arrest such a situation, realizing that it's actually a case that needs to be solved headlong?
Okay, so actually this depression, it even occurs, as you said, postpartum depression, it even occurs in fathers.
Okay.
Yes. So, but let's start with the mothers. So, for the mothers, it's basically the same things we said about mental illness. It comes from all those issues that have accumulated in the marriage. For example, lack of support, anxiety, stress. During the pregnancy, she's stressed, she's anxious, she's going to have a new baby, and then the baby comes, you know, sometimes the fear and anxiety of, oh, there's a new life.
So she's
sudden. Yes. So suddenly, you know, it's a period when joy is, you're supposed to be, you know, happy. Oh, I have a new baby. Or then all of a sudden that person is sad, is withdrawn, and is not happy, and she's looking so sad. So usually this postpartum depression starts from around 2 weeks after delivery.
Yes.
So for those that start early on, it is called the name has gone off now, blues.
Okay.
So but for the depression aspect, it starts from 2 weeks after birth. Yes. So that's one important point people should take note of. So once it starts around that period, we should be thinking about it. Yes, very careful about it, and we should be thinking about that depression. So the thing to do now is be supportive of that woman. The baby can be taken in the same house. She can be taken care of, she and her baby. Someone should be there, someone that can take care of her, take care of the responsibilities in the house. Her partner needs to know that it's not that she's just being, you know, that she's just being difficult. Rather, we should be supportive of her at that point in time and help her seek health care. Because we can't, it's something that is not managed at home. We can't, because people will be like, well, she'll get over it.
Yeah.
And from there, some people,
Exactly.
that's where their mental illness starts. From postpartum depression that has not been treated, and then it progresses to mental illness.
Okay, can we talk about the fathers?
Can prolong delivery cause it? Can prolong delivery? Maybe you had prolonged labor.
Well, it's stress.
It's still all
One has gone
stress.
through stress, and we said stress is part of the things. But you know, it cannot come alone. There might be other factors. that we might not have identified. But when we get to the woman and we ask her, you realize there are other things
added to it.
Yes, that is just a push. The stress of labor just tipped
Just
her
brought it
off.
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Then
of
the
our Zoom
father
guests,
side.
let's hear how does the father's postpartum episode unveil? Because some men don't know, just like some of them don't know they have menopausal series too. So
Yes.
how does it come
they
out?
manifest the same symptoms too.
Seriously?
Yeah, so the woman might be wondering, but we just had a baby, he's not even interested in the baby, he's sad, he's withdrawn and all that. And you know, men sometimes they like attention. Sometimes they are like babies.
They're always
Yes.
they're always
so
treated as
once the
babies.
attention of the mother is now on her child,
Hey.
he feels, oh,
He's alone.
I'm out of the picture now, you know?
You know, before we
Okay.
attend to our Zoom,
Oh
guests,
my God.
I know of a family that the man went into the labor room to witness the
Let's
delivery
throw
of the
that to
baby.
our Zoom guest
Yeah.
because he's a male. Let's go to Joy's last question. She was about to ask a question. I wanted to
Yeah,
push
I
her.
was citing an instance where I knew of a family that the husband walked into the labor room to actually witness the delivery of their first child, and that was the beginning of crisis.
Wow. How
Because he literally didn't come close to the woman, he didn't come close to the baby. I think maybe out of self-pity or what he saw there affected his mental health, and that brought serious issues. So I really want you to address that issue. Like, men, how do they go through this mental phase, this depression? And
So it's the same way we said, the wife, if the wife is fine, she should also be supportive of the husband. And one important thing is there's always awareness creation now about all the signs and of mental illness that you'll be able to identify in your partner. You might identify that, oh, your partner is sad, is withdrawn, he doesn't attend to other activities. It even affects intimacy. Some are no longer interested in intimacy. So there are so many issues. So once you identify, sit down and talk with the person, and when you realize that, there's issue, help that person seek care, go to the hospital and seek care. And now we have mental health services, even in primary health care centers.
Wow.
Okay.
So they are available, so you can always
Request
walk
to.
in there, yes, and see a doctor, and you get those services. So you don't have to wait, I have to go to a big hospital for that. Even at the basic level, you have access to mental health services. So the partner should also be supportive. That's the wife. If she is also fine, she should be supportive of the
she's
husband.
also fine.
Yes. So she should also be supportive. Other family members that are around should also be supportive of that husband and help him through that process, and then seek counseling services and other treatments for him depending on what the case is.
Okay. Now, I want to ask, there are signs that we can always look out for. Can you just mention some of the signs?
Yeah, so I mentioned some of them, like the person will be withdrawn. Activities that person is able to do before is no longer doing it. Maybe he goes out for social functions, he's now withdrawn. He doesn't want to interact with people. He's withdrawn. Activities he does in the house, he's not doing it anymore. There is no communication, all these things. Then maybe, like I said, the intimacy part too. For some people, they are withdrawn. Some might think, what's it? And many people don't like talking about that. They rather hide and keep quiet, especially when it comes to intimacy. They don't easily come out and say, I have a problem there. It might be eating them up. The wife might not know, or the husband might not know where the issue is. So, but that communication, when you communicate regularly, when you sit down and discuss your issues between you can easily identify some of these things. Okay. And when you do, if it's something that can be solved amicably within the family, you do that. And then always ensure that, when you have issues, don't be quick to involve a third party.
Don't be quick to involve a third party when you have issues with yourselves as partners.
As much as possible, resolve issues between the two of you. When there is a need for a third person, if possible, involve a counselor.
Okay.
Yes,
Counselor.
don't just involve anybody outside. The little issues you have, any small thing, you call on someone, maybe your friend, or he calls his friend, this, and then the other person might advise you wrongly. You know your partner best. Sit down, discuss, identify what is the problem and provide a proper solution to whatever it is.
Now, let me bring it down to the children. Mental health, we're still talking about marriage and family and all that. What are the signs? Like you talk about a child, let's assume a child is being withdrawn, maybe 16, 17, 18-year-old, that child is being withdrawn. Apart from mental health, mental health issues, can we say there are other things that may have affected such a child to be withdrawn? A child has been full of life and suddenly...
So adolescence is, we see it as a very important period in the life of children, because it's a period where the child transitions from a child into adulthood. And a lot of activities go on at that period. The child is developing physically, mentally, psychologically, changes, and it's a rapid change. So you can see there's a fast growth in them, and a lot of issues come in there. It's a period where they take a lot of risks, and then they are also influenced by a lot of friends outside, what we call peer pressure. So another important thing is the background in the family, how they were brought up, what is happening in the family. So that's why a family should be ideal. So for example, they are coming from a family where there's a lot of quarrel, the parents are always quarreling, or the dad is abusing the mom, or the mom is abusing the dad, because women abuse men too. So the children see it. That alone is enough to make them withdraw for some. But for some, they are resilient, they can come out of it.
Okay.
And then pressure outside too, from their friends, can make them withdraw. And then so the relationship between the parents and that child is also very, very important. How you relate with that child. At that period of adolescence, they feel they are also adults. How you talk with them, how you interact with them.
They're thinking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that?
they feel I have arrived. You can't just tell me to do things. And so we need to understand those stages. When a child is very small, you can, do this, do that. But at that age, they need to know, so why do I need to do this? You need, even some small children now, you need to tell them, do something, they'll be like, and so why should I do it? So at that age, those issues come up. So it's very important, once we know, okay, this child has been active and outgoing, and then all of a sudden that child is withdrawn. The parents, first of all, need to sit down with that child, talk, if they've been doing that. Because if you've not been doing that before, that is where the issue will come in. If you've not been one strong family, that is where the issue will come. Because if it were a strong family, the child will even approach you, oh, mommy, or oh, daddy, I'm having this issue. They will discuss with you and you trash it out. But if that relationship is not there, it's very difficult to now come in all of a sudden when they've closed up, and you say you want to find out what they might not tell you. So, but in that case, we can also seek proper care for them in the hospital. We see them, we've attended to them in clinic, and I think there's also like a case I saw maybe like last year. 2 of the girls have attempted suicide. One was already receiving care, and then one came into, what's the issue? Their parents are always quarreling. Parents are always quarreling. They feel sad. They are not happy. Why is it that their family is like this? Mommy and daddy. And the parents, according to them, they said they are not quarreling. They are just having their normal discussions. So we offer counseling sessions for families too.
Okay.
Yes, so you come in as a family, you have a group of
You don't need to
therapists.
fix any appointment?
No, of course, they give you appointments.
Okay.
So when you come, you are being assessed first. We assess you, where you are, what the problem is. And then, depending on the case, family counseling is available. So the whole family comes in, you come for sessions. And then we do follow up in the community too. We have people that follow up even after you've been discharged, or they follow you to the home and still find out. Yes, because even after treatment, we also do rehabilitation, just to make sure you come out of it. Yes.
Now, I can actually relate to when you said some teenagers attempted suicide. I had a case early this year when a 14-year-old child actually killed herself and dropped the suicide notes for the parents, and that was a case of deep depression because of what was happening at home. Now, for somebody who has suffered a heavy heartbreak, a very heavy heartbreak, and now finds himself or herself in this state of depression and has not healed and carries it into marriage. Now, in marriage, because we are talking about depression now in marriage, how would the other partner help? Now, without, let's leave the let's not go into medicals now. Let's talk of personal. How would the other partner, having known what I'm talking of, maybe a woman that was stood up on her wedding day, because we see that happening a whole lot, or a man that was stood up on his wedding day, and how would a partner walk that person through without necessarily going to the communities or bringing in health or bringing in drugs or something, just to make sure that, okay, you know what, I'm here for you? How would such a partner handle that case?
So,
because I'm saying this in related to what Aurelie said, concerning stigmatization. People don't want to have that like she was treated for mental.
Exactly. And that's why they don't come to the hospital. They don't want to be identified as having mental illness. It's a stigma. So that is where support comes in. Support, the person should be supportive and love the person and try to be there. Communicate first of all and understand what is the problem. So by loving that person and being supportive, showing the person you are there, I'm here for you, you know, doing things the person, and not just saying it, you have to act it. You have to do those things. Oh, you be supportive. Everything, when you discuss what the issue is, what is the expectation of that other person? Maybe the person is expecting, to be cared for, to be loved, to have this, to have that. Try as much as possible to see that you provide those things the person needs. Be supportive, be there for that person. Whatever the person needs, be there for that person. And always keep reassuring the person that no matter what, you'll be there for them. And then try to also make them talk as much as possible about, because sometimes the problem is people don't talk. They keep it inside and it keeps piling up. So, but the more they talk, the more they discuss about it, the more they get relieved and get better. So just being supportive and loving to that person, I think, is enough to bring that person out if they don't want to. That is for those that I said without seeking healthcare. So, and I think that will also go a long way. But in the case where it has reached a stage where the person needs to seek
medical attention,
yes, it has to be, because that enough in the house will not solve the problem. So it depends on the stage at which that person is in that mental illness. If it's something that is mild, yes, just being supportive and loving and providing and everything can solve that issue. But if not, we still need to go back and seek.
I love the fact that you said the counseling still goes all the way back home.
Yes.
They try to check on you and see how you're doing and you respond.
Yes.
Now, when we went to Yaba for charity last week, we're just discussing, and we did not actually ask this question, but I want to ask: is it true that when we're discussing, someone just said it, that when you start the drug, whatever, it's something you have to continue to, take for life or something like that, just for you not to have episodes? You remember someone said that?
Not to have
when we're discussing, and we're like, I would have asked this question. Now you're here. I want to ask, is it true? Because, I don't know whether you're Yoruba people will say, what should you party? It's the end of the month. Episode has started, or his episode has started. Is it true that when you go through the process of mental, issues, and after coming back home, maybe you have gone through all the treatment, the therapy, you come back home, is it true that once in a while you have a relapse regarding the same thing, or people just, society, like the stigmatization we're talking about?
So it depends on the type of mental illness, and then it also depends on how the person is taking care of himself, because like we said, it's a mixture of different things that come up. So sometimes the person might be fine and okay, and then he comes back to that same environment that started the whole problem. So what do you expect? He can still have a relapse. Yes. So, and there are some cases that, like I said, they are not too serious. Maybe just a simple counseling. They don't even need medication. And then, so, but when we have cases that, yes, some people relapse, and then for some, yes, they might have to continue taking drugs. It might not be, you know, they start from a certain dose, and then over time they are responding. It is reduced. They might not be taking it as frequently as they do before. But that environment they go back to is very, very important. So if they go back to an environment that is better than where they came from, where it all started, definitely things will be better. But our environment, the way we are now, people might not even have identified the environment is the cause of their problem, and they go back to it, and it comes back again. And they're like, well, I'm taking medications and it's not working, it keeps coming back. So of course it will come back once you go back to that, or you go back to that same partner. Maybe it's your partner that is causing the issue and he has not changed, things have not changed.
The love is still shackling you and you still need to get back. Your parting words, my sister.
Doctor, before we let you go, are there sicknesses that can trigger mental health? I'm saying this because growing up I used to hear that when you have acute malaria, when it's beyond a certain level, it affects your brain mentally. And sometimes they'll say it's as a result of it that causes epilepsy or convulsion. Are there sicknesses that can actually, for somebody who didn't have a history, and are there sicknesses that can actually trigger mental health in marriages?
Well, not exactly, but usually environmental factors and all the what we say predisposing factors, but not necessarily because you've had an illness. And then for some, what we call is genetic. When you have a family history, when someone in your family has had it, there's a likelihood to, but not necessarily being that there's an illness that will lead you to having mental illness.
So you have done a great job this morning.
Don't justice to it.
I want to empty my account for you so that you have a beautiful Christmas celebration.
I'll open my account to receive it.
Please send me your account details. You have really, you know, settled this. Okay, your parting words to our viewers out there, you know, guidance. Just 2 minutes, just your parting words.
Okay, so I think my parting words will be that we should make sure we are there and supportive of each other, no matter what the situation is. We should be supportive of our partners. We should try and make sure that they are fine. We should try and communicate well with them at every stage, at whatever time. We should ensure there's communication. Communication is really key in any relationship, whether in a relationship or in a marriage. It's very, very important to build strong and long-lasting relationships.
Are you there for me this month? Who is there for me? Joy, are you here for me?
For you.
Okay. I hope everyone is listening. Be there for one another. Communication is key, very key when it comes to marriage, family, homes, relationship. Communication, it goes a long way. And we want to say a big thank you to Dr. Adebanjo Adewale. He is the registrar, senior registrar with public health in Lasot. Sorry we could not get him to be on Zoom with us this morning, but it took a whole lot of time to join us. And also to our beautiful, delectable Dr. Khadija Asher.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here with us. We appreciate each and every one of us for linking and connecting and joining us on Galaxy Television on Facebook and Galaxy TV on Instagram and Twitter. And we love you. Please be there for me. Be there. I'm here for you. Joy is here for you. And we're not leaving any stone unturned. We want to say a big thank you to everyone who has decided to stay back to watch us, to listen, and to learn one or two things this morning. I still remain Olori Alajoke Olori AJ. See you tomorrow. I love you.
Of course, this is Joy Abu. My only biggest sis still owes me a bottle of drink anyway, with the rich auntie vibes we got this morning.
I'll give her the high one so that she will not
Of
feel
course,
cold.
it's a season of love, and this is the time to be there for one another. It's time to show love. It's time to share gifts. Please do so and celebrate so that you help someone come out of mental sickness fast and easy. Yes, we've streamed across all our social media platforms. Please download the Galaxy mobile app. Turn on your notification button so that you don't miss discussions like this, pardon me, and you don't miss interesting topics like this. Tomorrow is Friday. We have another exciting topic for you. Up next is the next program on Galaxy Television. Stay tuned. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.